party people, and hello my friends. It's your girl, welcome to Chynna, and I am here to introduce you to our new podcast, What, Who, Huh? Broadway.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Rolling in the deep. Down in the deep. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
All right, y'all. Welcome to Broadway's. It's your girl. Welcome to Chynna. And this is a show that has been in the making for a minute. It's been heavy on my heart. I've been talking to all my friends and family about it. But before we even get any deeper into it, I have to introduce you guys to one of my favorite broads in the world, Miss JoJo, Miss Jocelyn. Introduce yourself and let them know who you are.
Hey, what's up? So I'm JoJo. I am a licensed esthetician. I'm a makeup artist. I'm Chynna's BFF. And I'm so excited to be here. You can find me on my socials on YouTube and Instagram at JoJoF6_. Don't forget.
6_. Don't forget it, y'all. But you guys will learn to like us, to love us, to meet us. Long story short, we're going to be podcasting in the next month or so in New York. So this will be a live show. But we said we wanted to get it started, right?
Yep.
Ready to get it started.
No time's better than now.
All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and get into our first topic, our very first, subcategory.
Yeah. I feel like we could call it that.
So our first subcategory, you guys, it's going to be our what, our who, our mental health check-in. All right. So the most important thing about this, you guys, is that each category and each topic, we're going to have a little intro for you guys. So I'm going to show it to you, and then we're going to get right into it.
I was dealing with. I think that a lot of times we just don't tell each other, so we don't give each other the tools. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to give your people the information, like what you holding on to it for. Like you feel ashamed because you're going to therapy, but for what? Why would you ever feel ashamed?
So mental health check-in is basically something where Jocelyn and I are going to talk about how we're feeling for the week. But we want this to be more about mental health because that's something that we deal with.
Yeah, definitely. Anxiety, depression, everyday bullshit. Basically.
All that stuff. So we'll start with you. Mental health check-in. Where are you at?
I'm feeling pretty good this week. Got some things accomplished, relieved some stress today from finding something out that, I'm stressed about. I don't know, overall it's been pretty good. I've been trying to keep up on certain things make me less stressed during the week, and I feel like that's a big part of mental health is just keeping even your everyday tasks like my room clean, on top of my laundry, on top of just taking overall hygiene care of myself, skincare.
Yeah, that affects me how I feel too. All of that. Yeah, and it's hard. So let's talk about a little bit, so you had a little bit of anxiety this weekend. We won't tell them what happened, but, it was hard. It's in my mind, it's
not
only so much that you can do about the anxiety of waiting for something. So yeah. I know that was heavy on your mind this weekend.
Yeah, I was really trying to I try to do it with most things that like you said, most things are out of our control, and, we don't realize it, I feel like, as much, of the things that we can control day to day. And there's certain things we can't control, I'm trying to think of an example, but just something that maybe it's Friday, your car breaks down at, 6 p.m. and all the mechanic shops close around then. So it's that
in between time when you can't.
Yeah, you gotta wait Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and then you can't, do anything until Monday. So I feel like that's a really good example of something you can't necessarily control for a couple days. So stuff like that, I really try to not focus on, keep my attention on okay, the things that do make me feel better, doing my makeup or doing some skincare, taking care of myself, maybe eating better, working out, things like that really keep my mental health in a better check than just, sitting around all week because you have more time to think about it. So if you can kind of preoccupy your time, but with positive things, not negative things, then I feel like that,
it's a
really
little bit. Yeah, it's like that. It's like that purgatory time of like waiting for government things to open, like when your car break down, or you got a toothache and you got to wait till the dentist open, or you're waiting for your check. Like I had that, me waiting for Chime. So who knows who Chime is? And meanwhile, you guys make sure you guys are checking in the comments. We got a couple comments. BB Bean said, "Bring it." And a person said hi, Chynna and the blonde chick. We got to let them know.
JoJo. It's JoJo.
I'll drop our banner down so our names will show. So there we go. So we'll drop it down. But make sure you guys are letting us know in the comments, for me and my blonde chick, how you are feeling. Mental health check-in. This can be an interactive thing, and that's what we want. But I experienced that anxiety waiting for my Chime, waiting for my money to come through. They talking about 2 days before payday. I'm like, I put everything in. I'm waiting. But they're like, the first time is not going to come early. So I'm like, I waited all this time. Like, the anxiety of it all.
You'll be good. But things like that are just things that we have to remind ourselves, like, why think about it Friday and Saturday when you can't, and Sunday, like for 3 days when you can just let it be, let it go, whatever, and come back to it Monday, or like a lot of people probably deal with when you're in bed and you start thinking about all the things you need to do or whatever. Like
that anxiety. It's anxiety.
You could get up, you could do some laundry, you could, wash your dishes, you could clean your house if like stuff like that starts popping in your mind and you want to. Or what I found is really helpful is to just write a list of the things you need to do and want to get done. I kind of try to categorize it by like if I want to do some self-care stuff, if I want to do some home stuff, and if I need to do like, say, like taxes or like budgeting, things like that come to my mind. It's like a good categories to break it up into, like things you can instantly fix, things you could do, the next day, and things that you might have to wait until a Monday.
That's great advice. That's great advice. And those are the things that, we try to hone in on. Yeah. And we try to hone in on those in like therapy and different exercises. And another exercise that I learned from my therapist was when I can't focus and like, on one thing and my mind can't relax, thinking about all of the things that you're hearing. So you focus on your senses. So
like around you.
So my therapist was like, go on a walk for 10 minutes a day. One day, focus on only what you're seeing. So only acknowledge everything that you're seeing. Then one day, only acknowledge everything that you're hearing. And then the next day, acknowledge only things that you're feeling. So he's like, if you walk against a bush or something brushes you, if somebody's bag accidentally hits you in Target, just to be able to focus on one stimulus at once. Because
maybe
I know
somebody hitting you, but
like
I know how you get the anxiety from that. You're like, damn it, that bitch in the grocery store hit me with their bag.
Loses your temper, starts therapy all over again. Like, I can't do this shit anymore, for real.
Yeah, no, for real.
It's hard.
You have physically gone to more therapy than me, and I do want to like go to more sessions and stuff like that. Obviously, a little bit more personally why I haven't gone to some of them or whatever. Obviously, I lost my car at one point, and I was going to them, and that kind of put a hold on things. But like, I don't, I've heard of this census thing, but I didn't actually know what it was. So it's interesting for you to break it down, because that's like, people be like 5 things. What is it? It's like 5 things you can touch, 4 things you can taste,
exercises, something like that.
Smell, 2 things you can see, 1 thing you can. What are your 5 senses?
I know. Here, smell,
here. I think it's.
I don't know. I remember learning those. I don't remember. So y'all let us know in the comments. Don't eat us up, but that's our mental health check-in, y'all. Each week we're gonna just check in with each other, see how we're feeling, opposed to being like, how was your week? That's just so basic, but it's important.
Yeah, how we kind of deal with it, ways that you could probably deal with it.
Exactly. So, hi, LOL. Her name is JoJo. BB Bean is always here. Yeah. So we got our people in the comments. What's up, y'all? So next, you guys, we're going to go ahead and get into our next topic, our broad topics. And let's get into these conversations about friendship. Why don't we? Let's get into it. So, y'all, the topic of today, if you do not know, the Broadway's live show, our very first one, we're going to be talking about expired friendships. Now, this is a broad topic. It's a subjective topic, and I don't think that people necessarily put expired friendships. It's just like we ain't friends no more.
Yeah.
So that type of vibe. But I guess we'll start with, why did we want to have the conversation? For me, obviously, it came to my mind because I've gained and lost a lot of friends over the years. And now that I am 25, it's been times where I've had to make amends with friends, and like it just still didn't click. It's like, we forgive, we come back. It's like, we're here, we talk about it, but still we're just not clicking. And in particular, we both had a mutual friend of ours who we love dearly pass away. One of my friends from the past high school that we went to high school together, she reached back out to me. We tried to reconnect. We were both mourning the loss. But after that loss was over, we just couldn't react. We just couldn't connect anymore. Yeah. So it was almost like it was expired, backtracking almost. So that's why I wanted to have it. But I would love to hear from you. Why would you want it? What does this conversation mean to you, in other words?
I think it's important to know about it, like understand and realize that expired friendships are gonna happen, and that every expired friendship doesn't necessarily mean that like you don't still care about that person, or like you couldn't still catch up or something like that. Some of them are expired for a reason, and there's certain like boundaries that you have to have, and you're not going to continue that friendship. But there's some friendships that you're going to have that might be expired, and you can still reach out to that person. You can still wish that person well. I mean, even somebody that you're not on good terms with, you could still wish them well too. Obviously, I don't.
So we talking about wishing well. Like, now I tried to wish a bitch well who I was real cool with, and I told that whole happy birthday, and she didn't want to say nothing back. So I've tried.
That's on her though. Like you, like mentally, like you can still like wish them well.
I'm a good person. You're not.
Like you don't have that bearing on your heart. Like fuck her, I hate her. Like you don't need to even have that in your mind or on your heart or anything like that. Like you can just wish them well. Do you, boo? But stay away from me. Don't come in my energy. Don't throw off my vibe. Like
don't throw off what I got going.
Yeah, because like you're just gonna gotta move forward. And like I said, there's those ones that you can catch up with every now and again, but I know you're gonna break down the topic, so like I don't want to.
We're gonna get into it.
Yeah, I don't want to go.
We're gonna get into it. So we're gonna go ahead and get into our next little sublet topic of learn more about us. Why not? How did you and I become friends? Now, I can recount this pretty clearly. I'm pretty sure.
I know exactly how.
So I guess we'll see if they correlate, because to me, it was like two. It was like we met, and then we really was like, oh, we met.
Yeah.
We won't get to the oh, we met. We'll start with just how we met. Okay. Yeah. In other words, y'all, we get down for real, for real. So I'll let you start.
Okay.
Because it was a friend of yours.
Yeah, I was going to say, I came to the studio with Jo Marie and met you that way because you were there were you doing Finesse Queen?
We weren't doing Finesse Queen, but
we're doing the other one, right?
We'll say our friend, I used to work at Guess at the mall, Guess Jeans.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. That is how
that was my coworker.
Yeah. So
this was so I went out with my cool coworker who had connections in like music and producers. And I just went to hang out that day. I did record something, but it was just to give it a try.
Yeah. And actually, I know you know this, but I hadn't been going out because I had just got out of a 3-year relationship in December, and this was February. It was like February 23rd or like 20th.
Yeah, you met me right after my 23rd birthday, and I was like, I wish that you were there because I just went to the strip club.
So it was like the 23rd, 27th or something like that.
Yeah.
Is when we like officially met of 2019. So we've been friends for a little over 2 years or a little under 2 years.
It's probably about over. I've been gone for about 2 years, so we'll say it's like two and a half.
Yeah, a little bit over. Okay, so I'm not that, simple math. Just
So yeah, math, ultimately, to get to the nitty gritty of how it becomes expired friendships, the mutual friend in between, we're cool. We love that friend. We just I don't really talk to her like that anymore.
I don't either, actually, now that you bring that up. Like, that is like expired friendship transitioned into like our friendship. And it's more, like you said, like, I have no problem with her. Like, you know, I wish her all the best. Like, I hope she's doing well right now. Like, I would love to, you know, if she reached out to me or whatever. I got a new number though, so and then she had a new number at one point. So I have another mutual friend with her that, you know, I could always reach back out. And that's what I was trying to say is like, there's some friendships that are expired, like you're
Not negatively
all the time. Yeah, like friendships, but like, you know, you have no beef, there was no falling out, there was no, you know, problem. It just,
you grow apart.
Life got in the way. Yeah, you grow apart, you know. So,
and we'll get deeper into it. We'll talk more about it, but we wanted to give you guys a little taste about how we met each other, you know, how it came from an expired friendship. I mean, it wasn't in my case. I've had a lot of expired friends, but it's still someone that we mutually were close to at one point, and then you and I became friends. But it is a difference when you become friends as an adult than hanging out with high school friends or your adolescent friends. So
yeah, like what did you think, like, meeting me? Because like, I feel like, you know, like you said, we like initially met and like, you know, we, you know, kindled our relationship from that, and like we hung out another time, but like I was like, oh, she's cool, like she's so
yeah,
nice.
it was somebody that I could, yeah, yeah.
Like,
and you and I are very similar like that. Like, we'll be like, what's your Instagram? Like, we still have kind of, you know, our similarities.
Instagrams, I'm pretty sure. We like I had you on Snapchat instantly.
Yeah.
Like,
so we did all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was a good night. And then we reconnected. And, you know, when you meet new friends, we ended up going out. And that was March, St. Patty's Day. And that was our.
So I was wondering if that was like how you were saying we like really like hung out and like
St.
that
Patty's
was like our
Day,
first time. Okay, yeah.
So that was quite today. Quite today. We'll get there deeper. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Make sure you guys are subscribing, doing all that stuff, because we'll get into that. But we'll save it for now.
Yeah, we'll save it for another day. You gotta come back and hear that story, because
we good on that one. So now, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and get into our next topic of what does an expired friend mean to you? So we kind of got into it. I think that we should specify them. So we're going to kind of skip over this and get into our 3 types of expired friends. Now, I came up with a small list about 3 reasons or 3 topics about why you shouldn't, or how people, I don't know, why friends break up. So 3 ways.
What's the type? It's kind of like the type, like you said, 3 types of expired friends, just the reasoning, certain reasonings. There's only, you know, there is really only like a few, besides, you know, someone completely doing something like ultra dirty, you know, just morally wrong. Like, I feel like that's just kind of in the first category a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's like a whole, you know, that's a whole reasoning as why they did it. These are more like the types of people and why you kind of break apart.
Yeah, so it's exactly how you explained it. Thank you, because I couldn't explain it. And it's not anything to do with, you know, just the falling out. Other organic reasons why people as adults stop kicking it as much, stop hanging. Yeah. So we'll get straight into it. The first friend that we have here is the hater friend. So this comes out a little bit more negative, but this is an expired friendship. You know, you can just not really vibe check with somebody. I've had plenty of people in my life that is like, you know, underlining, you probably just don't really care for me. And it's fine, you know, but they still trickle off. And sometimes people just have friends that are haters. I did a video about it. So what is your feelings on it? Let's talk about it.
Like the hater friend in general?
Yeah.
Instead of explaining like exactly the type of friend, I feel like personally, this is like when we started talking about this and what we wanted to talk about expired friendships. This was the first type of person that came to my mind. I thought of someone really specific that came into my life. Actually, one of the people that we met while like the first time that we really hung out that really made our friendship, started another friendship, and that type of person you really think is your friend and you probably really trust them. They could be like a manipulative person, but not always. You know, they might not always have like the worst they don't want you necessarily like do the worst, but they don't want you to do better than them. They're not like maliciously negative against you, but just in their ego and their jealousy and their, you know, hatred, kind of like the hater friend. They don't
it's the
want
energy.
you to do well.
The energy.
Exactly.
It's just different.
Yeah, and somebody told me one time, which is really important, is like, basically you don't want to tell obviously everybody what you're doing, but sometimes you have that person that you do tell everything to, and you think they're really your friend when they're really wishing down on you and really don't want to see you
the
do
evil
better.
eye.
Yes, the evil eye, literally. And basically it's like the saying, like, if you tell a certain person like certain things and they're wishing well on you, you're never going to accomplish that thing, because of that negative energy that they have is so great that no matter what you're doing, it's never going to succeed, because too many wrong, you know, people have know your next move and know your every move. And so you have to be really careful with certain people that you let in your life, especially when you're trying to move forward.
Yeah. And we're all in that age range where we're trying to move forward. BB Bean had a good question for us. What are some unforgivable reasons to never return to a friendship? So we talked about it, but I guess we can get more specific. I think betrayal in relationships and dating, like someone talking to your ex or, you know, going behind your back, anything romantic that's shady, girl code, guy code, those type of things. What do you have?
Yeah, I was going to say like your significant other at the time, an ex, like, you know, depending on the friendship, if you met like a guy because of that friend and then like she ended up going back to him, obviously like you were talking to that guy, like obviously, you know, like, all right, she might, you know, could do that in the future. Like if it was like a 2-month thing, you know, I'm not going to completely trip over it, but if it was a real serious relationship, like 3-year ex, 2-year ex, 1-year ex, I mean, no friendship. Because it's like, what were you thinking the whole time?
It's just weird. Yeah. It just messes up. It just messes up the vibe. So relationships, and then I believe the hate. If someone, their vibe is just weird.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna fit, like if we physically got to fight, you know, like that's
some betrayal.
Yeah, like just unloyal. I feel like it really just falls more into
loyalty.
Loyalty, yeah, like the loyalty, the honesty. I expect that in like any friendship, relationship, you know, insecurities, like they're saying, like
it ruins it.
Yeah.
How many times are you willing to forgive a close friend? I think this is a big question because it's subjectively on what.
Yeah,
but I will say
depending on what they do.
If you're close to a friend, like I would say at the max, probably like once or twice a year, like, you know, something agitating, but it shouldn't be nothing. I think as we get older, it should lessen the issues.
Yeah, there shouldn't really be drama in a friendship. I feel like the most drama we go through is like maybe like not talking to each other, as in like we might be going through something type thing, you know, like, and that happens to a lot of people. You withdraw and like, you know, you're not talking. It's not even just that person. You're just not talking to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, and that, you know, it's just more like on the communication. I feel like, you know, that is forgivable, you know, but like if you're just constantly doing like shady stuff, or maybe just hitting me up when it's like it seems convenient for you, like I hit you up, and like you're always busy, and then like you're free and you hit me up and you're like, you know, oh, I want to hang, like, let's go do this. You can drive. Almost just like not using you, but you know, it just seems that way.
You're getting something out. It's like you're getting you only when you want to use me for something, or and that happens.
You're bored. You don't, you know, your other friends didn't follow through with plans, and now you want to hit me up when I hit you up 5 days earlier in a row. Like, feel like I'm not,
It's not me. It's not, you can, and I think it comes with discernment and understanding people and over time, street smarts. But
yeah,
have you ever seen the show Insecure before? Have you seen that show?
I don't think so.
We'll get into it. But anyway, it's a show, and Elijah was talking about it's two friends who have been friends for years. And as they were in their early 30s, they got into a lot of drama and a lot of issues, but it was a lot of things that weren't addressed. And sometimes people are just different, and we change so much as people. So we'll get deeper into that, Elijah, and talk about that as we talk about more friendships. But that's a good point, because on TV, we see a lot of people go through different friendships and different issues, but we act like in real life it doesn't happen, Yeah.
Like me and you personally, don't have
Yeah.
those type of problems or whatever, or like, I know there are people that go through those issues. Stuff you see in movies, stuff you see, in shows and stuff like that. Obviously there's a reason that they're in shows. It's not like it's just like never happened before,
It's supposed to be based upon.
Usually, writers are like basing it off of events that have happened to them or they've heard a story about or something. So I usually, like I told Chynna when she brought this topic to me, I'm like, I personally don't really have many friendships that I like have come to a crazy end, or like something like really, really drama filled has happened. A lot of my friends I actually do still have, but they're more just expired friendships, and they'll be in the other two. They're more in the other two categories of.
So I don't hate you. We just cool stuff to align life. As we get older, it's like
friends. Yeah, just middle school, elementary. You move away. You, maybe you don't have a car. You can't even drive until you're 16. So if you move away, that's up until, for me, that was junior year. Some is sophomore year. So you're in between sophomore and junior year. You're almost completely out of school, like itself.
Yeah.
Out of grade school, K through 12. Like,
yeah.
So, it's hard to keep a lot of friendships especially if you move a lot. I moved a lot.
I did too.
Mm-hmm. So like, I'm cool with a bunch of those people, and wish them well. I see them doing well on Facebook, but I don't, you don't see them in a while. And
so you're going to take us to our next topic of the 3 different expired friends. That's where we're at, y'all. We'll go ahead and get into the bum.
Yeah.
The bum. So to me, when I said the bum, it's much different than the hater friend. It's much different than, and we'll get to it, the childhood friend either. The friend that doesn't have the funds, the friend that doesn't have any life goals, the friend once you go to your schooling or trade or college or, beauty school, whatever you're doing, we know what I'm talking about. Your hometown hero friend, the friend that never leaves the crib. Hey, I have to leave the crib and come back. But you know what I'm saying? That consistently, it's just a bum. So anytime you try to elevate, either you doing something for them, they asking for the rides, the cars. It's still different. And it's a different air to it with somebody trying to get over on you or mooch off of you. So that's what I'm feeling about the bum. What does the bum mean to you?
I was going to say definitely like the mooching off of you or getting over on you type thing. Like you will have, I feel like there's kind of like 2 different bums. Like you could have like the good-hearted, friend who just might be like, okay,
well, let's specify those
where they're at. Yeah, they might be all right with where they're at, and they're not necessarily, they might still be in like a little bit of a pity party for themselves. They kind of want people to feel bad for them. They, might be trying, but, it's not the effort that they should be putting in. At a certain age, especially out of high school, like 17, 18, you should really be focusing on, trying to get your own car, having a job, like
things going on. And I understand that life always happens, but for me, my issue is this. I'm very kind and very giving, but I can only be kind and giving when I really feel like you're putting forth
reciprocating.
and reciprocating as well. If
It's
I
really
see that you're
important.
not, yeah, I run through money like it's shit. So I know I'm not, I know that I'm not good at managing my money. But what I don't do is try to run other people dry. I've
Yeah.
asked friends for money. Friends flip me money. I flip friends money. But it's
Yeah.
still it's only like 3 friends. It's like
Yeah,
you
we
and
can
another
reci-
2
yeah,
friends.
like,
It's probably
we
like
can
3 friends.
reciprocate. Yeah, I have done a lot of helping people who like I, thought, like we would still be friends, obviously, possibly now, and it would eventually be able to be reciprocated.
Well, let's talk about the couch or your furniture. That situation with your friend, and didn't she owe you money for your furniture? Remember your apartment, or okay, so it was a friend.
Okay, so I know I gave my couches to somebody, but
Okay.
I mean,
Weren't you waiting for? Didn't something happen where somebody
are you
owed
talking
you?
about the Royal Oak House?
It was something. I was there with the Royal Oak House, but it was something where your friend had to pay you back for some furniture or something. Or something from an apartment.
Okay, so I feel like you might be talking about the Royal Oak House, and my
Okay.
bed was still there, my bed frame.
Yes, let's talk about that.
She was trying to get more money.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, this is like a perfect example of expired friendship. I didn't even think about her.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get into our.
Down in the Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
It's story time.
So I'm gonna keep it short and brief. Basically, I moved into this apartment with my friend. I had gone to school with her. We'll call her T. So basically, it was T's apartment. I was paying half, I'm pretty sure. I lived there for like 2 months or 3 months. This was kind of a while ago.
I was gonna say like it was
I bounced
barely 2
around.
months.
Yeah, I
Barely.
bounced around so much. I had my salon. I was doing so much at this time, so it's a little bit blurry. But basically, she gave me 6 days notice to move out. I didn't even fight it just because I'm not gonna like waste my time on that, like my energy. Like I was like, I'll just either bring it to my salon or I'll get a storage unit. I'm pretty sure I got a storage unit. Found people to help me move it. Literally like didn't care because if you're gonna be like that and give me 6 days notice to move out and then you're gonna be a bitch about it, like I don't want anything to do with you. Anyways, I don't want to live in your house and help you pay rent. So, got my stuff out. I literally moved
Hold on, really
everything.
quick. We need a specification. So 6 days, you got to set it a little bit longer. What was your original agreement? Because it was a short. How did?
Okay, yeah, no. So I wasn't on the lease because I basically was like doing her a favor by moving in. She was like, so we had actually, I forgot about this. We had gone to school. I went to school in 2017 for 6 months, into 2018, graduated in like April 2018. And then I didn't move in until 2019. So maybe like June, July. I think I was there August. I might have moved out in August. Yeah, so technically I lived there for I think there's like legal terms that if you live there for certain amount of days or something like that, you can you have to give a 30-day notice. Like even though I wasn't on the lease, she wasn't my like landlord. She obviously had a landlord, and yeah, exactly. So I did her I basically was doing her a favor moving in, being able to pay the lease. So like I said, we had talked about this 2 times previous and she found another roommate. And then finally comes back to me again is like, my roommate's moving out. I don't know what to do. Like, basically, can you want to move in finally? So I was like, whatever.
So her roommate fucked her over, and
Yeah.
she needed another roommate to split the bill. Correct?
Otherwise,
You were paying, right?
I know I know the rent was usually like 900-ish or something, which I had lived in an apartment previous. I paid $13.65, which I knew how that was. So I'm like, all right, like I'll move in. We'll split the rent. That's cool. Whatever. So moved in, was there for a little bit. Then, like I said, she obviously ended up giving me the 6 days notice. I didn't fight it. I didn't care. Like I said, I already was like, if you're already going to be like that, I don't want to live in your house anyways, pay your rent. So you can find somebody to move in and pay the rent, or you can pay it all yourself and get evicted if you can't pay it. So whatever. So I had everything moved out. I literally had my bed frame left, and my bed frame's a king size. So I had to wait until the next day, literally.
I remember this. I can vouch for this. I remember this. This is before I moved to New England. This was like a week or two before I moved. Yeah.
So day 6, I literally had everything out, and I had already slowly like started moving stuff out, but I had to wait for a truck or somebody to help me. I don't remember like why I had to just wait for my bed frame, but it's big, so I had to wait for someone to help me. Like I couldn't do it myself. So she got mad and tried to charge me for the time that my bed frame was going to be there the next day. Like, it was like $70 or something like that. And I was like, I'm not paying you $70 for my bed frame to sit in a room that basically her new roommate was moving in, and she needed all my stuff cleared out like that. So my bed couldn't be in there, and my mattress wasn't even in there. Like it was taken apart. I think it was pushed up against the wall or something. So that was all I was waiting on. And I was like, I'm literally getting it at like 1:00 tomorrow. Like, I'm not paying you. What are you going to do? Evict me? Like, so I haven't talked to her. Well, besides having to give her the key and get my other stuff from like the basement storage area, like I haven't talked to her since, because it's just like, obviously you see what kind of
she wanted to inconvenience you and rush you. You just had to be nice. Yeah.
Like
the roommate understood.
I'm not paying you. Yeah, and the roommate wasn't even gonna be sleeping there the next day, and the roommate wasn't even bringing her stuff or something until like I was getting my stuff or something. Like my stuff was already gonna be gone before the roommate even was coming there. So it's like you just were trying to get more money, like because you couldn't pay it or something. Like
to be greedy. Yeah, just being greedy. So that was definitely on the topic of it's bum behavior. You know, maybe you're not a bum on the outside. You may have the funds, but bum behavior, that's got to expire. That's just not it. You didn't have to fight her. You didn't beat her down, but it's just like you kind of deserved a beat down. Nicole Thespiana says she was trying to take advantage of you. She was. It was just like you were kind and you had the funds. You were able to help her, and she wanted to take advantage.
Yeah. I got it. I got it literally within a couple hours of that next day. Like I probably got it by like 12 or something. I probably have the text to this.
Yeah. I remember all that very clearly. I remember that. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the next one of the childhood. Now, this is for me, I feel like one of the most common expired friendships. The friends you grew up with. And you talked about, when you're younger, your friends move away. My best friend from childhood, Morgan, is still, I consider my best friend to this day, because I would call her in 3rd grade on the phone all the time. Yeah. Now, Morgan's probably watching this, but I'd be like, may I please speak to Morgan, please? I just always like to talk on the phone. But I'm sure, I don't know how it would have went if maybe I wasn't calling her all the time, because I just like to run my mouth. But it is hard because we lived an hour away. We didn't see each other, and it's not like we had social media. So maybe nowadays, but
me and my friend in 4th grade, she was literally my best friend, Kaylee, and we literally cried. She moved first, and then I ended up moving. And funny enough, we actually both ended up moving out here almost together. Look, Morgan. But she ended up moving out here, and we were devastated. We were 4th grade. We were like, my best friend. Like, what are we going to do? And then we actually just rekindled later on. But yeah, those ones hit hard, especially when you're young and you're like, they're all you've known for 4 years, 5 years, some even like pre-K to 4th, 5th grade,
Yeah, unlimited minutes after 7 period, the my faves, all that. Like, that's when we had to pay. You had to pay to play. So it was
We had the
interesting.
good old house phones, so
The house phones. Phones. I'll tell it's just, I guess this one is just gonna be full of story times. Now I have a story time really quick. You've never heard this. This is an adolescent story time. We'll get it.
Down in the Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
For me, it's the old broads in jail telling stories for me. That's what I do. So this short story time is about when I was in 6th grade. One of my best friends, we'll name her Amy. She called, I had a boyfriend. So I had a 6th grade boyfriend. Now my 6th grade boyfriend, we're going to call him Jerome, okay? Jerome. So my 6th grade boyfriend, Jerome, this is when I went to school out in Farmington Hills, Michigan. So this is like when I was out in the super suburbs, okay? He was popular. His father was a basketball player. He was kind of low-key rich, but he was like young. So I ended up getting with him. We were like, dating, but not dating for real. So me and Jerome were like holding hands in the hallways. We were talking to each other, like on the phone, sneaking around, whatever. My friend Ash, I almost said her name. My friend Ashkawandada, whatever her name was. Fuck it at this point. We'll call her Amy. That was her name. Amy decided to call my grandparents' phone and say, Chynna has a boyfriend. She's going out with someone. She said, she said, Chynna's going out with someone, and I'm concerned about it, and I just wanted to call and let you know. My 6th grade friend betrayed me and called and left a message. Morgan even said this. She remembers that my grandparents' phone number, everybody knew my grandparents' phone number because my grandparents would watch me after school. Yeah. Left a voicemail. My grandma and my grandpa heard it. I didn't hear it. I didn't know how to take it off the phone. We were never cool ever since. I was in 6th grade. I did not understand why you would do this to me. And I remember my mom be like, you going out with somebody? Where is you going? And I was so embarrassed. And I just didn't know why she would tell on me. I didn't do anything to her. We were
like, you're not worried about my toxic friend, though?
It was messy. But it's just like people betray you in those ways, and we have never been the same ever since. I don't talk to her. I still have my other mutual friend, and then I'm still cool with her big sister.
She exposed herself young,
so she know not to cross me. But that's just a little story time. So let's talk about childhood friends for you. You have close friends from childhood now, or are they not like?
Yeah, I feel like I lived in like East Point area, Warren, all like
we're from Michigan, you guys. We're from Michigan. Yeah. We're from Michigan.
Pre-K to 4th grade, and then 5th grade and up, I ended up moving out to Lands Cruise schools. So 5th grade and up, I basically have had a lot of those friends. Like 5th grade, obviously we all went to the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade together. So a lot of the people that I made friends with in like 6th, 7th grade, I actually stuck with almost all through high school. And then I actually do still have like a few 6th grade, 7th grade friends that there was me, Ashley, Taylor, and Kayla. So all 4 of us used to hang out all through middle school, all through high school. So we've actually started to be able to see each other more nowadays, now that we're older. They actually all have kids. So it almost makes it easy now that they all have kids, like for us all to get together, because it's like they can all bring their kids and they can all play. But basically while we've been going from high school till now, Taylor, oh my gosh, sorry. Taylor moved away, got pregnant. So it was like, that was almost like an expired friendship. We didn't hang out a lot after that. And
life changes.
Life changes. So it's not like a negative expired friendship, but it is still an expired friendship in a way. You still
Bean. I'm not gonna tell you the name. Ash something, okay? They gonna keep
Ashy elbows.
Ashy elbows. Go ahead.
So like friendships like that, I do still have a lot of those. I actually have like a whole nother group of like 6 of us that were friends in high school that you know, I would still consider all of them my friends, but I just haven't seen, you know, some of them. Half of us went to college, half of us stayed home and worked. And, but we're still all progressing forward. I wouldn't say any of us are like, I've never had a falling out with like any of them, really over anything serious, more like miscommunication type stuff, but not even like a falling out, like more just arguments, because most relationships you're not going to get, you know, along all the time. But
we don't have the tools to, you know, really talk about it. I think now when it's really, really rare, like even, you know, sometimes niggas just need time to just, you know, maybe it's more like small agitation.
Work on yourself.
I know how you are, like my friend, like whatever, I'll let her be. She's riled up. Like, you know, for example, when I messaged you, like, do you want to record on Sunday? You was having anxiety. You was going through it. You weren't like, fuck you, I can't do it, da, 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 da. You were like, I just can't.
I was just like, text me tomorrow and it was more like the time and stuff, you know, like I was like, yeah, we're good. Just like, I can't even like, I couldn't think. Like, it was the weirdest thing.
People can't even express that, and when we have anxiety, and I sometimes I'll get in a bad attitude when I have anxiety too, but it's like, you're still cognizant, and of course we understand, but that's why, because we have a lot of similarities.
You gotta work on it. Yeah.
And
you gotta get to that point. Like, communication is not really taught. A lot of our parents didn't know how to communicate, so they didn't teach us how to communicate properly. So, and
you pick up those bad habits.
Yeah, and
talking with somebody, not listening.
We've got to break them. So we work on it like consistently. You know, we try to work on ourselves. We realize like we have faults and we have things that we can work on, and like, you know, us arguing or something like that, like, I feel like shows us what we can improve on. Like, we're aware enough. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. We're like self-aware enough to be able to like be like, okay, what was the problem, and like move on and fix it, you know?
Exactly. So again, it's and that wasn't a friendship that we have harvested. We didn't know when you're 6, 7, 8 to 10, 15, you're not developed as a person. Like, some of my friends from when I was in 3rd to 5th grade, like I still have them on Instagram, and I see them, I'm like, I want to connect with you, but I'm just sure we just will never. It's just like, we live different lives now. You know, I do wonder, maybe I'll hit up an old friend from middle school and try to connect. But, you know, everyone changes, and it's just hard.
I've connected with a few of those middle school friends, but I haven't connected with my elementary school friends since high school. So like I said, me and, you know, Kaylee reconnected in high school. You know, we still have each other on like Facebook and stuff like that. And like I said, I'll always like wish, you know, those certain friends well. Like, I feel like those friends know the connection that we had, and like the connection, I wouldn't say is necessarily gone, or maybe the bond's not gone, but maybe like the connection is gone, just in the sense of
it's
like,
life. When you
we're
get
not doing the same stuff. We don't have the same goals. You know, everybody has the same goals, as in like do well for yourself, possibly, you know, have a family, but like other than that, there's different goals.
You having children, it's like you're gonna be you going into your career, you having kids early. We'll get to that another episode about, you know, the child's. But one of my favorite friends from high school, she had a baby. Life gets hard. Circumstances maybe not the best. We can't be best friends no more. Just inevitably, life just does not fit.
Or like we don't live by each other, you know. So me and you have to strictly be social media, texting for now until, you know, soon I can travel a little bit more, not so caught up. But even then, it's like I still, you know, have to make sure I have the money to come see you, and a little bit of time, because it is, you know, a decent drive. Like,
it's an invested effort. And out of everybody, you are the friend, and we'll get into our next story time shortly. It's coming up about being expired friendship. But, you know, you and another friend of mine who I'm not going to mention, but we'll mention shortly, you came to visit me. You're one of the first, literally the first and only person from home to have ever still to this day come to visit me. So that is still very meaningful. And I tell people to this day, you are still the only person that has came to see me. And I haven't seen my family friends, whomever, in almost 2 years. So I have seen you closest to kin before anybody. So those are things that I appreciate. And also, I didn't know you for 20 years. I didn't know you for 5 years. I knew you for about a year and a half. And you put forth effort to come see me with a friend that was an extended friend of yours. So people do have that capacity. I want to let everybody know, but people don't deserve that. But it was a trust. And you came here. We was cool. I'm not going to say nothing, but I took care of you. You was good. We was fine. We made sure that it worked because you extended yourself, your car, effort. We was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, like, that's like another a good example how you were saying earlier, like, you know, you put forth like some money, like I'm not like
you put down, but we talked about it
and
before.
then I was actually able to like send it back like actually really quickly. Like it happened to work out. I had no idea. You had no idea.
And it just is a blessing.
Like that.
Yeah, the goodness, your heart of it, you don't think anything about it. For me, it's always like your friend, girl, Morgan has thrown me money for edibles before. I'm having a bad day. Let me send you $30, whatever, till you get paid. And then it's like, all right, we're going to wait until you need it or when I need it. But I know that you're going to have it, whenever. So, you sending me a chime, spot me boost, every little bit counts. But, it's still helping out your friends. So it's not like, screw you, we're cheapskates, we're not going to pay. But when you trust somebody, they're going to get it back. Or you at least know that when they can get it back, you'll get it back. So,
and it's really hard because like we are still young. We don't think about that often, but 25 is not old whatsoever. Like you haven't even lived a third of your life. You've lived like a fourth of your life. Technically, you live, about 100 years. But like we're just now, I feel like, really more starting to get back secure. We weren't secure necessarily like 100%. And, there's still things, like you said, life can happen and stuff. But
life is still really starting now and I think people can relate when you're at that age. Early 20s were still a little bit different, but now it's really starting to set in for me.
We were moving around a lot. Yeah. We were, not necessarily stationary. I still am in the moving around stage, but we both more have secure jobs now to where we don't necessarily need to ask for help. But if we needed it, I know that I could help you.
We can at least, inevitably, somebody going to have it on this end. Somebody going to have it on that end. So that's what I'm saying. It's just it's nice. It's nice. And I do still push my friends and my other peers who don't have careers, who maybe didn't go to school. It's not about going to school. You can go get a trade. You can go to.
Yeah, I'm in a trade technically. I did both.
I don't know in beauty if they call it. Do they call it? But
yeah, it's still like a trade, like a skill.
Trade school, certificates. It's a plethora of other things that you can do. Yeah. But I find the disconnect of people, and I'm gonna say this now because I'm sure people feel this. I feel the disconnect of people who did not about education and having the conversation like you're uneducated, but people who did not get some type of education or trade to send them out into the world, like a career path,
Yeah, like there are, certain jobs you could, clean houses for cash. That's a decent amount of money, starting out around this age that you can really work some hours and make something of yourself, possibly, start your own business. Obviously, I did that in a way. I still have a trade. I still went to school and started the business, but like, I was fortunate and got a job that is more of a career. It wasn't just a waitressing job still, or, a fast food job, or an hourly job that's like $12 an hour. As we get older, those type of friends who are not willing to move forward or not willing to, sacrifice and take that certain amount of time that it takes to get, education or some type of trade or some type of training in a skill that can help you move forward and progress, you're gonna stay stuck.
I just feel it makes me feel bad almost. And it's like, I'm in debt. I went to school for acting and a lot of things where I'd be like, shit, I should pity myself damn near. It's like you also, we had jobs that weren't pandemic savvy. You're an esthetician, you're a makeup artist, you're a flash artist. I do entertainment. That shit was not cracking, but now we're out of COVID. And I promise you, it's not like a flip and dip of a friend. I genuinely, it's very hard for me to even have a friend to have $30 to go have a drink with me. But again, I've moved to a different place. I live in New Hampshire. So that's like, no one even knows where that is, in between Boston, Maine, and Vermont. Massachusetts, like, you know, but people here, they don't have the necessarily education, they don't have the funds. So it's still different criteria and different people. But also, I'm a firm believer, you need to still start to stick around the people that are going to serve you. I remember Jay-Z said, who said this? Not Jay-Z. Somebody, I watched, shout out to Full Send Podcast, the Nelk Boys. I was watching a podcast with Shaquille O'Neal, and Shaquille O'Neal said, I love to be the dumbest person in the room. Let other people be smarter than me. And I always find myself not surrounding myself and being, I'm always educated.
Yeah, not that we're the smartest person in the room, but
at
all.
Same
problem where I feel like I'm the person who usually is trying to progress the most, wants the most knowledge, but like I need other people to give me like stimulating conversations, to have more knowledge than me. And usually I am pretty knowledgeable. I try to be knowledgeable in certain aspects, like taxes or, you know, ways that you can better yourself, make money, mental like knowledge and stuff like that, psychology knowledge. Like,
I said I want a mentor. I feel like I'd be mentoring people, and I don't even should be a mentor. I'm still figuring it out. But it's like, it just shows how, and this is a women's show, we be behind in certain shit. You know, we really be behind. I feel like men always is the ones to pick their brother up, but we coddle each other in some ways. Like, it's okay, or, you know. But to me, don't complain to me about no money if you ain't gonna go get you a man to get you some money. Because that's my route. If you always
get a job.
They say on the other podcast I watch, a BDB, a big baller. If you ain't talking about no BDBs, then it's like so it's the disconnect. But I'm not that friend. So don't use me for that if y'all wanna. I don't know.
Yeah. Like I was saying, like I don't want to hear the pity party. I want to hear like,
what is your game plan? What are you doing?
Either questions of how you can get there, or like ask me if I have knowledge of something you could do that would put you in a better situation, or you know, what you want to do that either I could give advice on, or you're telling me what you're gonna do. So it needs to be like one of those three. You need to be trying to work towards it, figuring out how to work towards it, or actually working towards it. Like, otherwise, I don't feel bad for you. Because, like you said, we both have stuff happen to us all the time, and we figure it out on our own, and we usually don't have much help. You know,
that's why my tolerance is low for it. But also, we're one of those people where we're like, it makes it look easy. Like, I promise people don't think that I've ever struggled, and I'm just like, bro, like, are you serious? Yeah. You know, it's a good and bad thing. You fake it until you make it.
Yeah.
It's subjective if people believe in that, but I'm a very much so a fake it till you make it mentality.
Yeah.
If you down, if you ain't got the money, you're gonna be like, I'm broke. I don't have any money. I just ain't going out this week.
And putting that business out there for people to know that you're doing down and out is not good.
Don't let me know you broke.
Yeah.
No, because I've been broke. Everybody, let me tell you, I have been broke, okay? And I was still broke. I have a provider male in my household. So I still have a house. I have things for me. It's as if you stay at home with your parents type deal. But I still had to do some shit for myself. You know, it's like, it's certain things as women. You're going to get your groceries. You're going to do other things. We'll get into those later. But next thing we're going to get into. Yeah. We get into our childhood friends that you're close to. Sorry, you guys. This is it. Feeling out friends, making friends after a certain age. So me and you, now this sounds like we old, like we in our 60s, you know, dating men of a certain age, being with people of a certain age. But for me, I'll tell you guys, I moved to New Hampshire and I didn't have any friends. I was so desperate for friends that I had to find friend groups. I had to find, you know, different ways for women to connect. And it was hard. But for me, the immaturity of women nowadays is just so low. It's
jealousy,
so
insecurity,
immature. And I still know that I was not that immature when I was some people's ages. I'm 25 and a half, everybody. I'm about to be 26. You're not 25 yet. I got 6 months on you. Damn near.
September 4th.
Yeah, so coming soon. Literally this week. So my friends are like 23, 22 out here. They still go. When we were 23, we was out. I moved here when I was 23, almost 24.
I know, I was out chilling.
I can't drink with y'all like I want to. I can't hang out with y'all like I want. And then when you're in a relationship and you have different things, it just it changes. But I think now making friends of a certain age for me, if I didn't have these friends already who understand my lifestyle, I'm ready to have friends that are married women. I'm ready to have friends that are actually have a life together or in serious relationships even.
Yeah, I don't want those friends who are constantly jumping from man to man.
I want to ask you for advice.
You're talking about cheating or things like that. Like, I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear, like, I want to be able to, like you said, ask you about advice. I want you to own a house, so I know that when I get to that point, like, how am I going to deal with that?
So
or like, what are better tips?
Beautiful.
How can I fix my credit, like stuff like that.
It's more of a benefit. And shout out to the Nightcap crew, y'all. We're on there every Wednesday. If you guys haven't seen the Nightcap crew, check us out on Wednesdays. But Deja, one of our former members, she has a home. She was talking to me about mortgages, homes, things of that nature. And it's like, I like that. Fulfill me. For me, that's my friend that is making moves. She manages money. She's together. So I love to hear these things about her life. Sometimes it's a little tough. Sometimes it's in and out. But I just love to hear about things that I don't know anything about. I've always lived in apartments. I've always lived in rentals. So, it's still good to surround yourself with friends who are almost doing better than you or people that look up to.
People are like intimidated by that, but like you said, or they're basically like intimidated by it, like, or you make it look easy type thing, which is still like a form of intimidation.
Yeah.
But like people get intimidated by that, but it's like, I don't want to be intimidated by that. I want to be like inspired or like educated from it. Like you need people doing better than you. You need people who have experience and, education behind certain, different things, different topics, like to learn more. Like you don't need to know everything, but there are certain things that you need to navigate through life, especially more efficiently. I'd rather do it more efficiently than make a bunch of mistakes.
So if anybody here got some old broads for us to talk to and to mentor us, definitely let us know. We're about to get into our last and final topic of the evening, you guys. I appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you guys are hitting that thumbs up, hitting that subscribe. Our last and final topic, if I can type it in really quick, is the mental health of a friendship. What goes into that? Again, this is a podcast where we talk about mental health. But what are some things that, let's talk about it. Let us know in the comments, that I need from a friend in order for my mental health to be right. Again, good examples. I have friends who understand that I have really bad anxiety. I have friends that know, like, okay, she's going through something. I got to talk to her about it. I got to go ahead and get this done. So that's very, it's hard sometimes to be able to express yourself to other people and know that you are kind of difficult. But I think just having that mutual understanding and also, acknowledging and articulating. I still had to articulate to my friends. I have generalized anxiety disorder. Mm-hmm. I overthink things. I'll sometimes need to think through things. Sometimes I'll get too riled up. Sometimes I'll cry out of nowhere. It's a lot of things that I had to explain. And sometimes I've even had friends that their mental state was too much for me to handle because of my mental state.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We're young. We've got to work through it. You've got to want to work through it, though. Like, you can't just be like, I'm not going to be this way, and then like literally do no steps towards helping fix it or lessen it, or, because I don't want to look at it like you're fixing a problem, because, things like that aren't a problem. They're just something that you deal with, the way that your mind works. A lot of people's mind actually works that way. They just don't, realize it. Yeah, exactly. You definitely need to understand the other person. You have to want to understand the other person.
You have to want to understand. It has to be the desire to understand. And then also, I think everyone deals with some type of mental health or in some capacity or, some type of anxiety but also you have those friends that don't, and some people, we won't say friends, not everybody has the capacity to deal with someone who deals with mental health, whether it's anxiety, depression, BPD, borderline.
They don't know how to,
the list goes on.
deal with theirs. So they don't know how to deal with yours if they don't know how to. If they're not willing to, like I said, if they're not willing to understand, they don't want to, they don't care to, they're basically saying they don't want to work on the relationship. Relationships are not all just easy. You have to want to work on it.
A good friend or a partner will take the time, and friendships, and Morgan said this a little bit earlier, friendships are a lot like a relationship. When I got with my boyfriend, I had to sit down and tell him, I have very bad anxiety. I will lash out. This is how I react. This is how I need you to handle me. And also, it's a lot of research, a lot of Googling. I have a friend that has BPD, borderline. I have never really educated myself on that. I Googled it. I watched a video on YouTube when I had some extra time just to understand how your mind works, because I care about you. But also, I think it's because I empathize, because I struggle with mental health. And it's people who don't struggle with mental health. And some people, I think everybody does a little bit, but some people don't struggle with it as much to where, you need therapy, or I think everybody needs therapy. I'm an advocate for therapy, or, medication, or you guys get what I'm saying, but it's still
not everybody has been through, technically like traumatic events. Some people do have an easier life. Like, I'm not going to sit and pretend like my life was like, the worst thing ever. But like, there were certain things that did happen that were negative and that did affect me. But there are some people who go through even less than what I went through or what you went through. And like, their,
it's the end of the world.
Certain thing is not going to be as much as us, but one thing, like you said, could be like something newer coming up later in life, could be the end of the world for them, because they haven't dealt with half of what we've had to, deal with.
Girl, these people are, I wanted to say, I appreciate everybody in the comments. I appreciate everybody here chatting with us. Shout out to everybody. This has been our very first episode of Broadways. We have been, working our way through. Jocelyn's here, so we've just been very, very excited. So last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and end this off with a final story time. I'm going to keep it short and sweet so we can get everybody out of here. The story time of me moving to New Hampshire and my friends coming to visit me. Now, I have this on my YouTube channel. I've talked about it with Jocelyn. Jocelyn was actually here, so that's why this is a great thing to talk about now. Let's get into it. It is story time. A last story time of the day, you guys, all right?
Down in the I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
So this is the story of an expired friendship that I have had most recently, and from somebody that I was close to that I would consider a best friend. So this is the story about how me and my high school theater best friend are no longer friends anymore. Listen closely, listen carefully. It's going to be quick. As I mentioned before, you guys, Jocelyn came to visit me. It was her and another friend. We're going to name this friend Brianna. Her and Brianna came to visit me. Brianna didn't have a lot of money, which was fine. Me and Jocelyn was going to make it work. Brianna came here. She brought herself. That's all I cared about. So me prepping with my anxiety, I wanted to make sure that everything was nice. I wanted to make sure that we had food. We had, games. We had drinks, all that stuff, because my friends were coming to visit. At this point in time, I was working politics, so I had more than enough money to make whatever happen. It was a fight about nacho dip, but I will say this. My friend came. I was thankful for her to come, and we were all going through something that weekend. And that's why I'm interested, to hear how you process this once I get through the story, because the reason why we all came together was because we were all having a tough week. And we said, this weekend, we're going to hurry up. The girls are going to come down. We're going to hang out. I think you guys came on like a Friday. I think it was like a Friday or something like that. A Thursday or Friday. Either way.
It probably was a Friday, I think.
It was a Friday.
Yeah, it might have been Thursday or Friday. But
so I was having a tough week.
Weekend, basically.
Yeah, it was a Friday. So Jocelyn and Brianna came to come see me. I was excited to see them. I made nacho dip. And we were having some champagne. So we're sitting out on my balcony, drinking some champagne. It sounds a little bit more bougie than it was. I have like a deck.
Yeah, it was
yeah, drinking some champagne. It was like $8. I like that better than wine. Whatever. So drinking some champagne, but take it how you want. We was drinking some champagne, damn it. And we're hanging out. My friend doesn't like spicy food, okay? Now I made that nacho dip that is like that smoked queso dip. The rotel dip. So I had some, it wasn't even like I think I added some like red hot sauce, like just to give it like a little zing. But
yeah, I think it was like, it's supposed to be what the Rotel can.
Yeah.
Was it Velveeta?
Rotel, Velveeta, cream cheese. And originally I didn't put the cream cheese in there, but I put cream cheese in hers to make sure that it was like subsiding the spice.
Yeah,
So she ate it and she was like, it's too spicy. I can't eat this. And for me, it came out as like, I didn't expect this from my friend. It was just a little bit ungrateful. It was just a little rude. It was just a little, something about it just made me feel a way because she was complaining and bitching the whole time she was kind of there. And it just agitated.
Yeah, because I was going to say that wasn't even the only thing. Like I had drove basically 15 hours, maybe a little bit more. And I was sleeping and you guys had to go get it even yourselves. So that was kind of like the first part. It wasn't even like necessarily the dip was even the first thing. This was maybe like the fourth or fifth thing at this point.
Of things that we had to handle. So at that point, we went to the store, we handled that, whatever. And she was sitting on the couch and just was like, it's too spicy. And I'm like, well, it just kind of seems like you're just being a little bit ungrateful. I'm like, I got up and put cream cheese in it. And this is nacho dip, literally, to make it less spicy. She didn't want to eat it. It's just like, what else are you going to eat? It's just, it just felt like it was just a little inconsiderate. And it just really rubbed me the wrong way. Now, this friend deals with mental health. This friend deals with different things. But hers more comes of the mental health of privilege, that I can act out, that I can throw temper tantrums, that I can just do whatever I want to do. And that's exactly how it went. So long story short, this friend and I got into a little tiff, not putting our hands on each other, but I got agitated. I was like, I don't know why you just won't eat it. It's just, it irritated me. Don't remember what I said verbatim. She got very upset to the point where she goes ahead and storms out of my house. Now I live in an apartment. I have a side door and I have a front door. She goes ahead and comes out of my front door. She goes ahead and tells Jocelyn, can you please come down so I can come sit in your car? She's crying. She's upset, whatever. I'm a tough cookie. I'm like, fuck it. I don't give a fuck, whatever. Jocelyn is my friend. Her loyalty belongs to me, which was still hard, but it's like unlock the car and what?
Yeah, because I didn't want to be in it. And actually, we were going to go to the store.
We were going to the store.
Yeah, we were going to the store. So I was already in the car. And
we were going to go to the store for a breather, wasn't it? A breather?
No, for like wraps or something.
Wrap something. So we need to go to the store.
And that and maybe more wine. I don't remember.
Yeah, we got more wine.
Or something.
We was hanging.
You guys were kind of already arguing about the dip thing. And I was like, all right, well, we're going to the store. So I'm going to just go get in the car so I can kind of avoid this because like, it's awkward when you have to, deal with a situation like that, especially like I'm not trying to pick a side, but like obviously, like you said, my loyalty belongs to you, not her. But like I'm not gonna sit and like instigate or make the situation worse.
It wasn't supposed to be what it became.
Go in the car. She came down, said, "Open the door." Basically, let me sit in the car.
So you guys, it wasn't supposed to be all that. It was like we're gonna go get the wraps, go get the wine, whatever. Take a breather. Jocelyn's in the car. Brianna runs down, trying to get into the car. I'd come after Brianna, like, yo, let's talk about it. Because in my mind, my anxiety's through the roof. You're here to visit. Where are you going to go? Like, we have to get through it. It's like you're out in the cabin on the lake. Like, where are you going to go? We went on this vacation together.
You just hours away from home.
You just came. You just literally came today. So I'm like, all right. So her and I start to go, back and forth in the car, try to talk things through. It was not clicking. Now, I don't remember what was really said in there or what happened. Do you remember the conversation in the car?
I mean, it was definitely a lot of screaming and yelling. I'm pretty sure she called you a bitch. If I can recall.
You're being a bitch right now. This Brianna's a white girl. So you know.
And the thing is like, you're at somebody else's house and like you could have just like literally not said anything about the dip and just like threw it away and just been like, no, I'm actually full or
You
something.
could have snacked on chips. It was a lot of other things, but it was just the selfishness to think that like you came here, I opened my home. She didn't even have to drive. This friend, let me tell you guys, this friend did not have a license to even physically drive. So it's a difference than not having a car. She could not drive. So she didn't exert any effort, and she was not bringing a lot of money to the table as well for the trip. So it was really like a double entendre favor, and that's why I felt slighted. Because now I have to go ahead and look at and think about everything that I'm doing for you. So next part of the story, my friend runs up, Brianna runs up, and she locks me out of my house, out of my front door. So Brianna runs into my house and she locks the door, locks me out. Now I let you guys know I have a front door and a back door.
Yeah, because we were still in the car.
We were in the car. She ran out of the car back upstairs. I'm like, maybe she's just cooling off. Me and you are cooling off. Now what happens next is like craziest thing ever. And you were still down in the car, so you didn't even get to really see the first, look of it. But this is what happened. I promise to Jesus. Me and Jocelyn are in the car. The argument between me and Brianna was not going good. Backing up a little bit, she runs upstairs to my house. Okay, I live on the second floor. I have glass in between my window panels on my door. So I have a window attached to my door. It's one of those doors that has a window.
It's like, like normal, house window you would draw on a house.
So keep in mind, we were going to the store. So the door was locked. My friend, Brianna, decides to punch physically through the window. Now let's talk about mental health. To the roof. She punches her fist through my window and unlocks my door and goes and runs into my bathroom and locks herself in. When I come into my house, it is a trail of blood. I start to freak out. I don't care what argument we're having. I don't care what's going on. Honestly, you guys, I thought my friend tried to kill herself. Just saying. I thought this was that abrupt, that crazy. Walk into your house after an argument and there's blood all over your... Yeah, I look at my side door and my side door is shattered. I went through the front. She shattered the side. Blood is on my kitchen floor, which is white and checkered. Blood is all the way down my wooden patio. I had to physically later go and mop up blood so my neighbors didn't think that I killed someone. I go into the bathroom. I see her crying with her hand in the sink. And I feel that nothing's happening to her. She's not dying, but she punched my window through. She's apologizing. She's saying she's so sorry. She didn't mean to do it. I said, go take a shower. It's okay. I don't care what happened. So people are going to depict me like I didn't give a fuck. I didn't say, get the fuck out. I told her eventually get the hell out. But it wasn't at that moment. I told her, take a shower, figure it out. If you have to get a flight home, get your flight home, figure it out. I made sure she was safe. I made sure she was okay. We gave her some breathing time, and me and you went to the store. Yeah. And came back. And she had a flight, and she was ready to go back home.
Yeah, there was everywhere. Like, there was blood on my car. There was, at some point, she came back down. It was a little bit more messy than, the story we told, but there's a lot of missing pieces. But it was a lot that, like,
imagine you punched.
And it happened so quick that, like, it's really hard to, like, remember, especially that long ago, like, exactly, like, step for step or, play by play what happened. But it was definitely interesting, and just overall, to me, that's just really disrespectful. You're in somebody else's house, and I think the premise of you thinking that she could have harmed herself, especially dealt with beforehand, it was kind of a little bit of a pity party of like, oh, well, my grandma this and that, and, I don't have a car to get to work, or, just things like that. And like I said, it was a little bit of a pity party, and
not taking an initiative to change your own life.
Yeah, she was upset when had just argued with her mom or something like that. And we actually, funny enough, all were coming together because of something that day that literally had happened. You had argued with somebody, I had argued with somebody, and she had argued with somebody. And so it was kind of like on a whim, we're all gonna literally go.
Be there the next day type deal. Like, we're coming, we planned it. And, you know, and that was the last time. And that was a friend that I mentioned before that, you know, you come back together with unfortunate events, you know, death, unfortunately, it just doesn't click anymore. She paid me for the window. My partner was extremely upset, and my loyalty still had to go to my boyfriend at the time because she ruined his apartment. I lived at my boyfriend's house. I was not on the lease. It was none of those things at this point in time. So it wasn't even my home, and it was just it sucked. But anyway, you guys, we're going to leave you on a cliffhanger. It's getting late. This is Broadways. We talk about all the Broadways, where we talk about all the things that make us women. We talk about mental health. We talk about dating. We talk about lifestyle. And I just want to say that I appreciate everybody being here today. Hey, Jocelyn, how you feel after our first stream?
I loved it. I was excited to do it in the first place. I actually really am so happy with like the engagement that we got. Usually I don't try to, you know, look at the comments and stuff like that religiously or anything, but I did want to see, you know, what people were kind of thinking, saying, whether they were reacting or not. Especially being the first show, we only have each other to, you know, kind of look at things like that. So it's definitely really nice knowing that like it can possibly be helping other people, or, you know, other people, you know, respect or realize like what we're saying, and, you know, have kind of, you're either in the same mindset.
And we're learning. And we're learning, trying to have these conversations when I'm like, obviously I'm not somebody's mom yet. I haven't been able to mentor a child. There's a lot of things that in society's view that, you know, we shouldn't be talking about, but it's still nice to be able to work through these things. And Katia said, what did I learn from the situation? Ultimately, it was hurtful for me. I still wanted to be her friend. I'm very forgiving, and I just thought I empathized so much with the mental health aspect of it that it was almost like, only because I had a partner at that time was where I was like, it just wouldn't pan out. The logistics of it just wouldn't look right. I just could never be friends with somebody who behaves that way, and it was just a hard explanation. But what I did learn is that just because I'm friends with somebody from childhood, and again, these are adolescent or early 20s problems, that people change. And just because you were friends at one point in your life doesn't mean you're going to be friends for the rest of your life. And I always had in my mind,
I was just going to say, or you are changing and they're staying stagnant. So that is kind of that as well. Concludes like an expired friendship. You know, you're moving forward and they aren't.
And it offended me, you know,
for yourself.
Yeah, and it was offensive. She said some other things about, you know, me thinking I'm better and different types of things. She said other things about my character that were very offensive. And then I have to go down the list of all the times that I helped you out, all the times that I looked out, because I was the friend that had a little bit more resources. So I wanted my friend to have those as well. Yeah. And when it has to come down for tit for tat, I don't like relationships, whether it's romantic or platonic, where we have to go down the list of what we did for each other. It should be consecutive. So we're going to leave it at that, you guys. This is Broadways. And we're still, you guys, we're working on what day we're going to be here. We're filling out Sundays. We're filling out the live streams. But we are going to be coming very, very soon.
And usually
live.
8 to 9. So we started a little late today. Yeah. We went a little bit over. So
we started a little late. But we're here. And we'll make sure that we set the time aside as well, because we know that everybody likes to be up and watch stuff. So thank you, everybody, for watching Broadways. We will see you guys. It's Labor Day next week, so we'll drop something midweek or something for you guys. We'll figure it out, but it's Broadway. So we'll see you guys next time. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And make sure you follow our socials, okay? JoJo with 6 underscores, and you know me. Welcome to Chynna, okay? See you guys later.
What you know about rolling down in the down in the